Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I was checking out some of these interesting news stories today. Some of the things that we were seeing in the media, and one of the stories that really got my attention. There were a couple actually that really got my attention. One had to do with this thing with this reporter. There was a reporter with KCCI TV. Her name is Emmy Victor, and I don't know where KCCI is located. But she was covering this shooting where a white man had been killed by the cops, and apparently a woman who they believed to be the mother of the young man who was killed came over and said, "Get the fuck out of here, you stupid fucking nigger." Um, and so Victor comes back and says, "Don't ever." And that was it. Then the woman got in her face and she said, "I fucking told you he was fucking dead, so don't stand there and tell me you don't know." So the woman didn't actually attack them physically or hit the woman, but I can imagine just the fear of just what what she went through. Just kind of dealing with crazy folks like that can be real overwhelming. You know, it was interesting. I mean, to kind of watch this altercation with where this woman was verbally assaulted, and what's really fascinating to me about stories like that is that they still make news. In the sense that it's I'm not really sure what to do with a poor white trash woman who doesn't like black people. I kind of figure a lot of the poor white trash people don't like black people. Some of them are okay with black folks, some of them are not. But I don't really know where the actual benefit is of us getting just overly outraged by these stories. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. But I kind of look at it. I'm like, okay. I mean, if you look at the lady, you just look at her. She looks like she's pretty ignorant. She looks like she's not. Um, she's not. You know, really somebody who is. How can I say this? All that intelligent. But okay, Victor says I'm coming through choppy. If you guys can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. Hear me okay. If you can hear me okay, let me know. If you can hear me, just say if I'm coming through okay. Just tell me, and if I'm not coming through okay, then maybe I can try something. I don't know what else I can do. I'm on the internet on the Wi-Fi, and I'm hoping that it's coming through good enough. Okay. All right. So I hear. Okay. I see. Marie and Love and Savage are saying that I'm okay. That I'm sounding okay. Okay, good. Well, but Trevon says I'm choppy. So sorry, Trevon. I don't know exactly why I'm choppy, but if you can hear me enough to kind of follow the discussion, I hope you'll stay. If you can't, then I'm not really sure what I can do on that tip. Maybe I can switch to a different Wi-Fi source. Maybe that'll help the situation because I have two Wi-Fi's in my house. So let me see here. I'm gonna switch up my Wi-Fi, and maybe that'll help us figure this out. But but anyway, so there's this basically, so when you look at this white woman, you're really seeing kind of like this basically a white trash type of person who decides she wants to verbally assault a black woman because she's mad, but she's upset because her son just got killed. That's number one. It doesn't excuse anything, but it does kind of put it into some kind of context, right? The other thing that's interesting about this case or this situation is, I just really don't know, whether or not, this sort of racism should always jump to the forefront of our attention. You have structural racism, which is actually quite damaging to the outcomes and the experience of black people. But then you have this very simple-minded racism, which is some white person calling me a nigger or whatever. Well, I don't particularly know how offended I'm supposed to be by that. I don't really know, how that really affects my life. If some white trash white woman doesn't like me, again, I pretty much assume that a lot of them don't like me, and so it doesn't make it okay at all. It doesn't make it so that, okay, yeah, you can call me whatever you want, but it does kind of say to me, maybe I should focus on something else. And also, the other thing that's interesting about life in general, in my opinion, is that um, people pretty much don't like each other in this world. I mean, in this world, really, if you look at the way different races deal with each other, a lot of black people I know don't like white folks. A lot of Asian people don't like black people. A lot of white people don't like Native Americans or Latino people or whatever. And my belief is that sort of going through life accept or waiting for white people to kind of accept you and love you is probably not all that realistic. And also, I don't really understand exactly how that might even in the least be in any way correlated with your success as a human being. We live in a competitive world. And the thing about being in a competition is that the other team will never cheer for you when you score points for your team. When are taking a stand for your people and doing your thing and making your money and building your power, other people are probably going to try to take that power. They're going to try to undermine your ability to protect that power. Other people are going to cheat in order to get what you got. Other people are going to try their best to rattle you. Other people are going to try their best to take advantage of any sort of psychological vulnerability that you have or economic vulnerability in order to pursue their own objective. And so, what I would argue is that, at the end of the day, I'm not really sure how much we have to care about a poor white trash lady who has no power calling me and calling us a nigga. It just really doesn't matter to me. I can't help but I think it was an interesting story. It was, I felt bad for the poor lady whose son got killed too. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe I shouldn't feel this way, but I do. Any mother who loses a child. I mean, if that's my mama would probably say some horrible things if something happened to me. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't make her an okay person, but it does kind of put things into some type of context that has to be considered. But what I would just generally say is, just keep it moving. The one thing I think, one area in which I believe white people are able to really take advantage of us is the fact that we are so sensitive. I think that black people are one of the few groups of people where you can call them a name, and they're gonna want to fight you because of that. And that's kind of interesting because number one, fighting people gets you locked up. So if I'm a racist and I'm trying to get a black person in prison, all I do is walk up and say, what's up, nigga, 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 right? And if you don't have any self-discipline and you somehow allow me to control you, you allow me to decide how you're going to react, then ultimately I have the ability to take away your freedom. I have the ability to control your destiny. And I'm not going to let somebody's words throw me off of who I am. Now, mind you, I'm not going to let you sit there and insult me. Don't get me wrong. Don't get that twisted. But at the same time, I'm going to sort of focus on what matters, right? So what matters, if I'm in a competitive situation, like let's think about something that everybody understands. Let's say it's a basketball game. So I'm in a competitive basketball game, and the other player, and I'm winning by 10 points, and the other player knows that to get me ejected from the game, all he's got to do is call me a nigger. Then effectively I'm giving him power that he doesn't deserve. So ultimately, he can actually get me ejected from the game and get me to give up my lead by rattling me, right? So what I would just say is, don't let white people rattle you. I mean, they gonna do, they gonna be white. White people ain't they always been white. They ain't never gonna stop being white. They gonna keep on being white. Ignorant white people are gonna be the worst. Ignorant white people, they not only white, but they crazy. A lot of them, the real ignorant ones, the white trash types, meth heads and all that. They carrying them guns. They they gonna make your life funny. So I would just generally say, ignoring people is a wonderful policy when it comes to dealing with stuff like that. Now, what you don't want to ignore, in my opinion, are things like structural racism. With structural racism, in my opinion, structural racism is where it affects our ability to get jobs, our ability to keep the jobs that we have, our ability to feed our children, our ability to get access to key resources that we need in order to survive. Our ability to participate fairly in the political process of America. That kind of racism is worth talking about. That kind of racism is worth fighting about, in my opinion. Now, with structural racism, in my opinion, my argument is that you either fight against it or you get away from it. One or the other, right? You either You either force them to allow you to assimilate and to join the melting pot if that's what you want to do. I'm not that guy. Or you get away from it. Now, I am that guy. I am the guy who says, why do I have to work for a white man anyway? Wait, who told me? Is there a law? Is there a law saying I got to work for a white man? And when I realized there was no law saying I had to go work for a white man, then I didn't want to do it. So I think that's important to understand. Now, before I forget, I want to tell you something. Write this down real quick. If you go to drboycewatkins.net, you can get a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, A New Paradigm for Black America. So go to drboycewatkins.net and you can get the free e-copy of the book. All you have to do is sign up. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is I don't know if you guys know, I teach a class with Damon Dash called Intelligent Boss Moves. It's at intelligentbossmoves.com. Now Dame made some boss moves recently. He's actually on the show Music Moguls. I talked to Dame this afternoon, and he just started the show. I think some other people on the show, other interesting characters like let's see, Snoop, Jermaine Dupri, Birdman is on there. So Birdman's on there looking for his respect, and Dame's on there too. And apparently the show's doing really well. It's they had the ratings were really good, and so Dame and I actually teach a class on business where we talk about just kind of what it takes to kind of build business, whether you're in entertainment or anything else. There's a model, there's a process for it, and we try to share the game. We try to share what we know so that it helps you to add to what you know, so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish and reach your goals, whatever they may be. So anyway, so with that being said, one of the other stories I saw that was really interesting was I saw that the Oscars or the Academy, that gives away the Academy Awards, the Academy of Motion Pictures, announced their upcoming class. And basically, according to the LA Times, the Academy of Motion Pictures and Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, or Science, has revealed the names of 683 filmmakers and craftspeople it is inviting to join its ranks. 41% of the enormous new class is comprised of people of color. 41%. So that's a big move for the Oscars. I think they were hit pretty hard and embarrassed by the whole Oscars so white hashtag and controversy, which is good for those people that care about the assimilation. Personally, when I look at an Oscar, it means just pretty much like nothing to me. I would be happy for a black person who wins an Oscar, not because I think that it means that you are a better actor or actress, than I thought you were before. I'm happy for you because I know that this is going to help you make more money, based on the system that you've been addicted to utilizing for your success. I know that it means that maybe within the space of the people that you care about, that you value, you're going to get more respect and esteem and prestige. But I'm like Gary James. Gary James said I could care less. And I would say I don't know if you say I could care less or I couldn't care less, but we both are thinking the same thing. Honestly, an Oscar doesn't mean shit to me. I think that black people have to understand that traditions are established, norms are established, great institutions are established, and so what that means is that you create the things you want to see come to life. You learn how to create traditions. You got to understand you don't make yourself a product of your environment. Your environment should be a product of you, right? So institutions around you, you shouldn't be shaped by those institutions. The institution should be shaped by you. And so I highly suggest we do what Gary James said. Gary James said, let's create the Jeromes, right? So to hell with Oscar. Let's create the Jeromes, and that's what's going to matter. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but the class I teach with Damon Dash, you can actually get a free month in the class. Actually, if you go to intelligentbossmoves.com, he and I are doing a webinar on Saturday night, and we get a chance to hear from him. He's got a couple of interesting projects coming out. A couple I'm actually involved with. In the show he's doing on the hip hop or the Music Mogul show. We actually have an episode where we do a screening of our new film called Too Honorable. The other executive producer on the film is Kanye West. Kanye gave us all the music, and the music is amazing in the film, and it's an interesting story, very powerful. And so anyway, so let's see. Vladimir says, I'm a filmmaker. Since I understood the system, I stopped dreaming about having an Oscar because it's not worth it. Exactly. I think that Vladimir's got a good point there. You see, the thing is, sometimes people hand you your dreams. They hand you your value systems. They hand you your goals. They tell you what is supposed to matter to you. And that's a very dangerous thing, because ultimately what they're doing is they're telling you the shape and trajectory of your universe. They're deciding how big their universe is going to be. They're telling you, what's going to matter to you, how where your self-esteem is going to come from. And that's just a dangerous game. It's just like with little kids. I remember, one of my friends, he ripped me off one time when I was 9, and this son of a bitch, he it was after church. I had gone to church, and we would play a little game where they would ask us questions from the Bible, and I answered all the questions right. So I got a big my gift was like a big box of pennies, so I had a whole lot of money. And I remember this dude. He somehow fooled me by shaping a game, creating a game where it was rigged for him to win, and he took all my pennies. And I'll never forget that his name was Warren. That was his name, Warren. And I just think about that when I think about how black people are treated by racist white people. Not all white people. I'm not gonna go out here and just condemn every white person on earth. I think some people want to do that, and I condemn his systems, but not necessarily individual people, because I think there are people that want to do the right thing. But when you think about just kind of what the white man does in general, what they do is they get you to play a game, and they rig the system in their favor. And then when you lose, they say, see, you lost fair and square. That proves that you're inferior to me. You just need to learn how to work hard. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Be like me. And we know that that's nonsense. We know that's ridiculous, but that's what we get fooled into believing. So ultimately, in terms of what I think about with the Oscars, I just don't care. If they asked me to join the academy, I would literally be bored. Once you learn how to kind of create your own stuff, you don't really get all that excited about being attached to other people's stuff. It's just like I was talking earlier today or yesterday or something. I was talking about what if Harvard University called me up, and like I used to have a dream like Vladimir. Vladimir had his dream of winning the Oscar. My dream used to be to teach at like a Harvard University or something like that. That was literally something I would dream about every day. And then when I kind of got to see the reality, I got up close to it. I said, I don't want to teach at this school. I don't want to be a part of this nonsense. So you could offer me the chance to be the president of Harvard University. And I would say, okay, number one, you're going to stress me out. I'm probably going to have more work. Number two, my pay rate will probably go down because I make more money running my own business. Number three, the prestige would mean nothing to me. I don't want to sit in rooms full of judgmental white people telling me what I'm doing wrong or whatever. I want to do the right thing for my people. And sometimes there are a lot of people, because of the position of black people in this world, in this country, we really don't. It's hard to do right by black folks and still remain in good stead with white folks. To remain kind of in good standing with them. They will punish you. They will punish you like you're a little child, like you're a little boy, or like you're a little girl. And one of the ways that they commit their punishment towards you is they put economic sanctions on you. That's the same way they control governments around the world. If you do what we tell you, then we reward you. We give you a cookie. We give you the carrot or the stick, right? So you do what we tell you, we give you the carrot. You disobey us, you get the stick. That's slavery. Slavery is not when you're not being paid. We had unpaid slavery in America, but slavery is not when you're uncompensated. Slavery is when you don't have any power. When your actions are controlled by someone else, when you are a puppet for someone else's agenda, then you are a slave. So if you spend, and the thing is, most of us spend our lives in some degree of servitude, in the sense that we have to consider somebody else's interests when we make decisions, whether it's a boss. When I have when I'm running my business, I'm a servant to the people that support us, our customers. I do what they want us to do, and it's very, very important for me to do that. But the thing is, the manner by which you are influenced by other people's actions should be carefully thought through. You when your oppressor is the one who's pulling the strings, that's a very bad situation for you, because they're going to have you doing all kinds of ridiculous stuff. They're going to have you run around like a little black white supremacist, but when it's somebody whose value systems align with yours, you have more freedom, because you have what they call incentive alignment. In economics, we call that incentive alignment, where you're going in the same direction. You both kind of believe the same thing, so it's not really a stretch for you to work with that person, right? So it's really like the difference between a woman marrying a man who loves her and wants the best for her, versus her marrying a rapist who wants to kill her, who hates her, who wants to abuse her. In both cases, she's going to be influenced by the man that's next to her, but she has to think carefully about which man I'm going to align myself with. So when you pick your career and pick your life and choose how you make your money, you got to ask yourself, what am I aligning myself with? And don't just look at the money, because if you just look at the money, you're going to miss the whole equation. You're going to end up mad. You're going to end up stressed out and frustrated and everything else. So anyway, I actually have to run, and I'm going to go teach my students in the Black Business School. If you haven't joined the blackbusinessschool.com, you should. It's a great place to begin your journey toward understanding economic independence, wealth building, how to view entire systems to empower yourself. All of us should be pursuing this kind of knowledge in our lives. We must approach cooperative economics, entrepreneurship, and wealth building like they are a religion in our families. It must become a religion in your household. Why? Well, because it is critical. It is essential to your survival as a people. I mean, there's really almost nothing more essential than the ability to provide for your family. When you can't do that, you got to go outside. You know, animals, like they say, animals are like that. When animals have plenty of food, they stay in one place. But when they run out of food, they have to go roam to find food. So for Black people, when we have plenty of resources, we can stay home. We can stay with our hood, stay with our people. When we run out of resources as a community, or when our families can't take care of us, what do? We got to go outside. We got to go look for resources. We go across town to the white man and say, Mr. White Man, can you please help us? Can you please help me out? I'm so pathetic. I can't take care of myself, and my people don't care about me enough to have taught me how to do that, right? And you don't want that, because that's not going to lead to respect. They're going to look at you and say, what's wrong with you? We take care of our own. Why don't you take care of yours? So Veronica asks, is it blackbusiness.com? It's actually theblackbusinessschool.com, T-H-E, theblackbusinessschool.com. We also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, visit drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. And so that's it, guys. I'm about to get on out of here. So until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.